What up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel Dap Universal. I'm Dap. So today, courtesy of a lovely suggestion by a lovely subscriber, we are doing a pick a card reading about how you are remembered. How you remembered. So thank you so much for suggesting this, and I love the username, by the way. I love it. I'm also a sensitive hoe. But go ahead, I'm gonna show you your piles. What you do is take a deep breath, you choose an image, you choose a card that you see on the screen with your third eye, not your first or second eye, and you see the timestamps in the description in the pinned comment below. On the way down there, if you could just do me a little bitty itsy bitsy favor and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You could also book a reading by clicking the link in the description, or if you want to support the channel by sending a donation, I would love you for that too, but you don't have to. We just have fun over here. Leave a comment. Y'all know I like them purple hearts. Purple's not my favorite color, but I do like a purple heart. If you don't have anything to say specifically, just put some hearts in the comments. It helps boost the engagement, get the video out there to more people who may enjoy this. But yeah, I ain't gonna talk you to death. I will see you at your reading. Bye for now. What up, pal number 1, and welcome to your reading, looking at how are you remembered? How are you remembered by the people that you are no longer in contact with? You do not mess with these people no more, probably. And we'll look at two different ways. We'll look at mainly just how people remember you in general, just how you're remembered by coworkers, friends, whatever. It's all lumped into kind of one. And then I'll pull a couple cards to see how you're remembered romantically, like by, your exes or romantic interests and situationships and stuff like that, But I only pulled one card for like the pre-shuffle, and it is a court card for every pile. Yours, pile number 1, is the Queen of Swords. All thoughtful. Look at her. So you could be a Libra. Queen of Swords is Libra. Libra. Or you could be an Aries. Doesn't have to be. But the energy of this card is somebody who is very social, very thoughtful, very intelligent, but also always wanting to come across as fair, diplomatic, balanced, always trying to balance, mediating. Somebody who doesn't like to argue, who doesn't like conflict at all, likes to kind of partner. It could be a hopeless romantic, but it doesn't have to be. But just someone who does well with a partner, like whether it's a best friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It's like you're somebody that meshes well with other people. Your energy is actually amplified when you are with a partner or with a friend, and you amplify their energy. It's like you're good with collaborating. You're good with working with people. You're also very physically attractive, probably, because the Queen of Swords, that Libran energy, is ruled by Venus. So it's someone who could be very artistic, someone who appreciates beauty, has a sense of style and aesthetic, but also probably very physically attractive. I would say if there's a downside to that energy, is that you could be too nice sometimes, or you could be a little bit too accommodating or allowing, because you don't want people to feel uncomfortable. You don't want people to necessarily feel a certain way, because of you or at your expense. So you may be a little bit more allowing than you should be, like, putting yourself out there or putting yourself out, like just to make sure that everyone's good and okay. You like people to feel at peace and harmony around you. So you'll go to great lengths to make people feel comfortable and make sure that they're not, sad or feeling any kind of negative energy, especially towards you. You like to be liked. You like to be liked. I do want to pull one of these animal spirit cards to see what comes up. Just an expression of like maybe how you are remembered personality wise. You have the loon, intuitive. A loon, is it a duck? Looks like a duck. It says, listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. So you're very popular. That's one thing. I feel like you are very popular. You may seem to be the type that's kind of always surrounded by people. You may have always been like in group situations, like maybe even in like say in high school, you probably like part of clubs and organizations, and like you just like being around people. You're a very people person. It feels like you are very intuitive, whether you believe it or not. You may have not tapped into that, or you may have tapped into that a little bit later. Say like in adulthood, realizing like, hey, wait, I am intuitive. I feel like you may have kind of relied on other people's advice or other people's input a little too much, like caring about what other people think, and had to kind of grow into yourself a little bit. And you may have not always seen yourself as the beautiful soul that you are. You may have had like ugly duck syndrome. Like, it's like, no, you're not a duck, you're a swan, actually. It's like that energy. But how is pile number 1 remembered? All right, so the 2 of Swords, that is actually a Libra card, Moon in Libra. You're remembered as someone who avoids situations. Yeah, the negative of that is someone who may be like really indecisive, maybe really hard to make a decision, unclear, don't know what you want, not impulsive because you don't. It's like you may have a hard time making a decision altogether, and to the point where you just avoid people or avoid the situation together, and it could have been frustrating for somebody. The 3 of Wands, clarifying that in reverse, yeah, that could be like an energy of like, say, when put in a situation where you don't see a positive outcome, you may just kind of like wash your hands with it or throw your hands up, giving up. It's a lack of foresight, and it's postponing. Like you may have like say pushed like postponed and push things back with a person and maybe several people to the point where they just kind of like withdraw and say, well, shoot, you must not be interested in being friends, or you must not be interested in like hanging out or whatever, and just kind of like end things that way. It's like I don't see you having a whole bunch of situations where you're like, don't call me no more, don't text me no more. You just kind of remove yourself gradually. It doesn't give me ghosting, but it does give me avoiding, like calling you, I'm not picking up. It's like I didn't ignore your text message. I haven't looked at my phone to see my text messages in like a week and a half. It's like it's giving me that. It's giving like almost panic vibes or anxiety vibes. Like you might have social anxiety sometimes. How is pile number 1 remembered? The Hermit. And the 2 of Cups. So a lot of people see you as someone who is wise. Maybe you give good advice. Maybe you are somebody who, although the Hermit is coming out with the 2 of Cups, not getting that as some like a loner type of energy. You could go through loner phases. Like maybe you're the type that has to recharge after a while or something like that. Or maybe like more intimate settings. Like maybe you don't like going out or clubbing or like liking big crowds all the time, but you may like intimate settings. But I do see that you are social though. And you do attract a lot of like-minded individuals. So although you do seem to be popular, I do feel like you may be kind of picky about who you let in your close circle. I feel like there are people who aren't in your life right now who remember you as like almost like soulmate energy, not even in a romantic way. Just like that was my best friend. Oh, that was the sweetest person I've ever met. They was always like that was the best person ever. They have good things to say about you. They have really really good things to say about you. Could also be a Cancer or a Cancer or a Virgo. But romantically, how do people remember pile number one? Your exes. How do they remember pile number one? All right, the Knight of Wands. A shameless flirt. Just flirty. Very flirty, very maybe had a high sex drive, or just sexy in general, adventurous, energetic, confident, just a breath of fresh air. They see you as a breath of fresh air, and exciting. But also, I see the moon. There could be a certain sense of allure to you or mystery to you, in a sense, because I think when you're in relationships, you do this thing where maybe you may not always show your authentic self. You may just try to project what you think they want or something like that. You're good at that. And it could lead to a lot of misconceptions. It could lead to what maybe some would even call deceptive. It's giving maybe not quite knowing yourself. So maybe at a lot of points you may have just tried to be what you thought that they wanted you to be, so to speak. And that may not be all the time, but I do feel that energy is how they speak. That's how they remember you. It's like, did I really know pal number one? Like, did they ever let their guard down enough to let me really, truly, like, get, really get them at like their authentic self? I don't feel like you're like that with your friends, but like for some reason with romantic partners, you may not show yourself. Maybe you haven't in the past. How else is pile number one remembered? The King of Wands. Charismatic, passionate. And I see you as very creative. Very, very creative. With the Hierophant, which makes sense with that Libran energy with the Queen of Swords. They see you as committing, maybe a little bit traditional when it comes down to like say relationship roles, high morals, high standards. You are somebody who they probably want to take home to their mama. You're the one that people kind of see themselves going all the way with, so to speak. So they remember you pretty good. I feel like if you was a wild child at some point, they see you as pretty wild and fun, but they also see you as somebody who they could have had a lasting relationship with. They could have gotten married, Sound off in the comments. Let me know how this resonated. If it resonated, if you want to book a reading, you surely can. If you want to say thanks, you can always send a donation to support the channel, but you don't have to. But you can remember if you got spirit. What spirit got you? Blessings in all we do. Bye. What up, pile number two, and welcome to your reading looking at how are you remembered? How are you remembered by people that you are no longer in contact with or no longer in their lives? Everybody have, we all grow out of people, separate. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's tumultuous, sometimes, it doesn't matter. This is going to be like just more of a general look at how you leave a lasting impression on somebody, right? So I only pulled one card for like a pre-shuffle, and that is a court card. And your court card, pile number two, is the King of Cups. You could also be a Scorpio or Taurus. Don't have to be, but the energy of the King of Cups is someone who is like the master of their emotions. Somebody who is emotionally available for sure, but they feel things so deeply, but on one hand, people may not know how deeply you feel things because you wear a good mask. You're really good at hiding your affection or playing your emotions down through like sarcasm and like maybe even deflecting your emotions by like say if you're feeling a certain type of way and someone maybe like wanted to talk to you about it, like you may flip it back around and just kind of change the subject, or you do that kind of thing. You're really good at getting to know people on an emotional level. Say getting people to like maybe spill their guts to you, like maybe really almost emotionally just kind of like throw things at you, like all their problems. And at the end of the day, they may look at you like, well, do I know anything about pile number two? It's like I feel like they know me really well. It's like you're really good at getting information out of people. You're really good at sensing people's emotions and underlying intentions. That's the thing for you. It's very Scorpio. And you're not afraid of the darkness in people. So what I mean by that is you're not afraid of people's shadow. You just see this like maybe people are just people. You're very empathetic to that. So people who may struggle with certain things, you may have been friends with all kinds of people. People who have real problems, maybe even dark problems, and they don't seem to scare you away. So it's a sense of openness to you that attracts people to you because they feel like they're not judged, because you don't really judge. But at the same time, you also don't really share too easily either. You don't trust people, and that's the interesting combination. It's like someone who can get people to just kind of spill their whole life story and all their trauma, but at the same time, you kind of hold on to yours. So it leaves a certain sense of mystery to you that is very alluring or very attractive. People like that about you, and they don't know why. For the most part, they feel like it's just something about pile number two. I don't know. It's just so mysterious. Is a good word for it. You also may be very spiritual. You may be psychic. Just knowing what to say, when to say it, showing up at the right times with the right people. It's like I feel like you may have like a lot of past life relationships or situations, not just romantic, but just in general. You may feel a real strong connection to just all kinds of people. It could be like even the even the most mundane type people, like your neighbor, or like say your the lady at the gas station who brings up your who brings up your Twinkies and your honey buns before you go to work. It's like you may find these really strong like connections with people, and you may feel like they're rooted in like past lives. So you could be like a life path number 9 or life path number 11, something like that. You can also be really possessive towards people, or get really attached. So that's another reason why you don't necessarily like to get too close or allow people to get too close to you, because you feel like maybe in the past you've done that and got too attached and like it ended badly, and it just kind of you have a hard time getting over people. So you may do that to protect yourself. But generally speaking, how do people remember pile number two? How's pile number two remembered? All right, so you have the two of coins, the two of pentacles. You're remembered as someone who makes really good, say, just like quick decisions. You're really good at with, say, multitasking too. So people see you as someone who's always gotten their hands in two different pots, kind of thing. Somebody who maybe you had two different jobs. Maybe you always went to school and had a job at the same time. It's like you're always kind of doing something. You're never just sitting still. People will see you as someone who is very productive. This is a good word to say. This is a good word. Productive. Juggling. But they also see you as somebody who may never really take a side. So there's certain situations where you may have, say, ended a friendship, or friendship may have ended you, per se, because of your inability to really want to take sides, or be that petty person. Like, it's like, no, just because you're not friends with them doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be friends with them, because they ain't do nothing to me. That's between you and them. And that may not have gone well. Like, people may expect you to take sides because like maybe your opinion matters or just means something to them or something like that. And it's like the fact that you may not have wanted to take sides hurts their feelings. And so, unfortunately, if they were the type of people to be like, well, you're either with me or against me, you're like, well, fine, I guess I'm against you. That's your choice. That is your choice. How is pile number 2 remembered? The High Priestess. They, like I said, they see you as secretive. They see you as secretive, but they also see you as somewhat psychic or just really intuitive. Like you just know what's up. Like people will come to you and ask you, hey, how do you think about this person, or like what do you think about this, because they know that intuitively you're gonna have the right answers. Like they, it's like people remember you as somebody who just knew. And I don't know how else to explain it, but they just knew that you just knew. Also, they see you as somebody who will abruptly just get up and leave, or abruptly just kind of like end the relationship, just cut people off. You're also a person who cut people off. Again, out of out of good intentions to protect yourself. Like you real quick to kind of like maybe even ghost. Some people may feel ghosted by you, which isn't a good energy, but it's like, you know, whatever. People may see you as a ghoster, but they also see you as, I don't think you do that like for no reason. They would probably definitely know, but you, there's definitely an energy of letting things go like constantly. Like if it's not for you, or if it's not helping you, if it's getting on your nerves, you will cut it out. Real quick, I want to see what animal spirit do they have for you. Just another way of people like maybe seeing you. We have the coyote. And it says revealer of the truth. That's on brand. That's that. Yeah, it checks out. It says, don't take things too seriously. Make time to play. Great wisdom comes from laughing at your own folly. Look out for the traps and tricks of life and learn from them. Okay. So this, that can go two different ways. People may see you as kind of like, well, as we already said, secretive, but the revealer of truth, it's like it's hard for people to kind of trick you. It's I think it's something that you've grown into. Maybe you've been, you know, I think we all have been like tricked and played every once in a while, especially when we're young. But it's like for some of y'all, it may have made it so that you don't get close enough to be tricked. But for others, it may be like you just really, it's really hard to trick you. Like it's like you just see through the bullshit. Sometimes you see through it and say something, or like or move through, like say the trickery of the deception without even knowing that what their game was. It's like you just don't involve yourself, and it can throw people off. Like it's just hard for people to even get close enough to you to try to lure you in with that thing, with that nonsense. It's like you just don't engage, you know. You're like a slippery fish. But how do lovers, ex-lovers, remember you? The Eight of Cups, walking away. I feel like you may be the type that have broken up with more people than you've been broken up with. Especially if you're unfulfilled. I would say like also maybe some of your exes see you as somebody who's just hard to get close to. It's like hard to emotionally like tap into. Maybe they didn't see you as very warm all the time. Maybe they didn't see you as very like emotionally like available, believe it or not. And others may see you as the Ace of Swords, which is like very smart. They saw you as very clever or very sharp, but also that's not very emotionally warm. It's not very my babe, you know, it's not sentimental. They didn't see you as very sentimental. Even though you might have been, you didn't show that side of yourself. Some would even say that maybe you're cold, or your words were real sharp. Like you said some things to some people, like it still hurts their feelings. It could have been years and it hurts their feelings. But I'm sure they probably deserved it. sound off in the comments. Let me know how this resonated. If this resonated, if you want to book a reading, you can just check the link in the description. Sending a donation is wonderful too. Thank you so much. It's a great way to say you appreciate the reading, support the channel, but you don't have to, of course. But remember, if you got spirit, but spirit got you. Blessings in all we do. Bye. Na, na, na. What up, pal number 3, and welcome to your reading, looking into how are you remembered by people that you may not necessarily be in contact with anymore, people you may have outgrown, just to give you a sense of how do people remember you, you know? We will be looking at it from 2 perspectives, 2 different angles, a general, just, you know, who may pop up, it doesn't matter. Just generally speaking, how do people remember you? And then maybe even we'll get into how maybe your exes remember you, your romantic interests, because I feel like those are going to be 2 different vibes and energies. You feel me? So go ahead and like the video if you haven't already. Thank you in advance. It's a great way to exchange energy. But we can get into it. Only did 1 card for pre-shuffle, and that is a court card for every pal. And pal 3, your card is going to be the Queen of Pentacles. And I love this Queen of Pentacles out of the Light Seer Tarot. She looks like my granny, I swear. So you could be a Capricorn. Don't have to be. Could be a Cancer. But it could even be kind of speaking of a type of person who may have had a lot of relationships or got really close to people at work. Like say, if you had any kind of occupation where like you had to be like really closely bonded with your coworkers, like say in a restaurant or like a flight attendant or I don't know, anything like that. Maybe even think like school, but like it's a person who may really bond with people who they have to yeah, do a job with. It's kind of what it's giving me. So, and you leave that job, and I bet you probably were friends with these people still after that. But you know, people grow up, people move around, and you know. But I get a sense that you are the type of person that likes to create strong bonds with people that you have to see every day, with people that you have to see every day. The Queen of Pentacles also represents like say a motherly type. So you could be a mother, you could be a single mother, you could also be somebody who just has a really strong work ethic, just very grounded, put together, and a sense of like maybe a person who likes to be out in nature, a person who likes to be around animals. It's giving that kind of energy, like Mother Earth. Like she literally looks like Mother Earth. I am going to pull one of these animal spirits to kind of see what's the vibe. How do people see you? How do they remember you? So Black Bear, the Guardian. And that is a very motherly type energy. In Lenormand, like say Lenormand cards, there's a bear card, and it kind of represents like an authoritative figure or like a parent. So this could be very much like you could have been like the responsible and the responsible one in the group, like the mother bear of the group. If you're, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, but it's like you're the protector. You're the one that makes sure that everyone's good. You're the one that makes sure that everyone has what they need. You take care of people. You're like a caregiver of sorts, but not in a Queen of Cups kind of way. Like she's like the empathetic, like kind of lean on me, baby. Like she's like the mama. You're like more so like almost like the stern one. It's like you're quick to be at someone's aid, but you're also quick to tell them how it is. Like, look, you're fucking up if you're fucking up. You know, it's giving that. You're also a little bit more of a leader than a follower. I think the Queen of Cups would be more like a follower type of energy. The opposite of that. but I feel like you're more authoritative. Like, people come to you with their problems, or they come to you when they need some help, but they also know that you're probably gonna get in that ass if you need to. So it's like that energy. You're very much big grown folk energy. But the black bear says, gentle and wise protector, give me your confidence and power. Help me protect the little ones I love. Awaken my intuition and guide me. You could also have worked with kids, or like worked in a like a daycare type of energy, babysitting, anything like that. It's also giving like hospital work, like working with maybe like a caretaker is giving that too. Like I said, these are just really general, don't have to be. But let's get into, generally speaking, how do people remember pile number 3? The Nine of Swords in reverse. So even not even in a romantic connotation, or romantic type of situation, just general, like your friends, coworker, people, just how people remember you. There's a certain energy of regret with the Nine of Swords. There's a certain energy of regret and guilt in the Nine of Swords. So you may have been, like, say, the victim of somebody who maybe backstabbed you, or someone who you may feel like betrayed you, or took you for granted in your friendships, and like you're just everyday like people. There's unresolved issues is what I'm getting. Like, so you may be the energy of someone who cuts people off. It's giving that, because it's like that's a prominent energy in how people remember you, is that things left unsaid, things left unresolved, feeling like they had to kind of get over that on their own. But at the same time, I feel like it's probably their fault, because it's like you trust people until they give you a reason not to, and once they give you a reason not to, you probably are really hard to forgive. It's like you don't really let a person keep abusing you over and over and over again. Like you only really got one time to fuck up. And so like it's sad to them, because it's like maybe some time will pass, and like maybe they think about how maybe you were a really good friend, and they start to miss you, or like start to think about like maybe what they did, and like they feel guilty, and it's like they can't there's no way in. Like they're blocked. Number has changed. If you like to make a call, please hang up and dial again type shit. So it's like I do feel like there are people who regret not treating you right. It could even be like people who regret not getting to know you as well, because I think for certain people you do have like a certain standoffish energy. I don't. You may not be a big extrovert. You may be very introverted, and maybe quite serious to some people. And so like maybe there are people who wish they would have gotten to know you a little bit better, especially if you ever had to leave abruptly, like if you had to move, or you had to like change a job like without any kind of notice or something like that. I feel like there's certain people who are like, dang, I really wish I would have hung out with them more, or you know, there's that energy. How is pile number 3 remembered? The sun. Okay. On the positive side, they do think of you as a ball of energy, like a big ball of light, warmth and optimism. They also see you as somebody who, no matter where you are right now, somebody who's meant to kind of like make it like successful. Like everywhere you go, you kind of like touch people in a sense. You kind of make people the best version of themselves. It's radiant. Is how they would describe you. They remember you as being radiant. It's like it's hard for people to forget you. Now, on a romantic level, how do people remember pile number 3? The Ace of Coins. Worth it. And the Six of Cups in reverse. So you you give the energy of the one that got away when it comes down to like romantic energy, like from the past. And I feel like you may have one of those issues where people may end up wanting to stalk you, or people may wanting like it's like you when you want to break things off, they're not ready, or like they just try to keep coming back, and like you're like, no, I gotta change. Like that's probably really annoying for you. But I feel like there's an energy of like attracting people who may not always be ready to meet you where you're at, but at the same time, not wanting to let you go, not wanting to let you go. There's also energy of like people seeing your potential, people seeing like how loyal and beautiful that the relationship could have been, but it's like for whatever reason, if it doesn't work out, I feel like they always see you in a positive light. They always see you as that person that I wish I could have made it work, or I wish I was mature enough at the time, or people remember you as somebody who was worth it. The Ace of Pentacles. And the Six of Cups in reverse is like saying, and they have a hard time getting over. I don't know if anyone's ever really gotten over you in a true sense. I feel like they think about you often. There's no one who's just forgotten you. But that's what I got for you. Sound off in the comments and let me know how this resonated, if this resonated. And remember, guys, if you want to book a reading or you want to send a donation, just check the link in the description. And then remember, if you got spirit, what? Spirit got you. Blessings in all we do. Bye.